Welcome back to the channel, folks. Mr. H here, and I've got another update on Alien Blackout. Honestly, can't quite believe it. So I logged on to Twitter this morning, like I normally do, just to check the interaction between you guys. Side note and plug, I'm really accessible on Twitter. If you want to interact with me, please do over at Mr. H Reviews. But anyway, so I signed on to Twitter. I take a look through my feed. What do I see? Someone had retweeted Alien Blackout's tweet of IGN's review of Alien Blackout. Yeah, no, I know. Don't get me wrong, I'm equally as stunned as you. Alien Blackout, essentially a pseudo-sequel to Alien Isolation. The game that we will never see a sequel to because IGN took a dump all over it. Alien Blackout, or the company behind it, so Foxnext, have allowed IGN, yes, the company that ruined the prospect of Alien Isolation ever getting a sequel, that they allowed them access to the game. Now, I say allowed them access to the game. I sent a tweet out and I said, look, you sent the game to the company that ruined the prospect of an Alien Isolation sequel. Why didn't you send it to the fans? You know, the fans that you're so in touch with, because you know that actually would have had more weight behind it, all things considered. Which I don't think that tweet is essentially bad in any way. I think that is genuinely the truth. To which avpgalaxy.net replied, and this is not, I'm not throwing shade. I love avpgalaxy.net and I love the people behind it. I talk to them on a personal level. They are actually good friends of mine. But they then replied and said that actually it was a few outlets at a press event. However, I then went to Alien Blackout's Twitter feed just to take a look and see whether there was any other outlets, and they hadn't shared anyone. So the only outlet they chose to share was IGN, the one company that had ruined pretty much single-handedly, and it's widely regarded as the truth anyway, or you know, as what people think. The one company that ruined the chance of Alien Isolation ever getting a sequel, they chose to retweet those little bunch of, god damn it. So anyway, I then head on over to IGN's page, their Twitter feed, just to see what they'd said. And yes, I replied to their tweet, and here's what I said. So their tweet reads, believe it or not, the Alien mobile game is actually super fun. And I replied, sure it is, sure, just like you bitched and moaned when Alien Isolation was too hard. Please press start and select credibility setting to high and start again. Honestly, look, regardless of whether avpgalaxy.net is true in what they're saying, and I'm sure they are, they do actually know these things. I'm sure that there was a press event. I'm absolutely certain. The fact that Alien Blackout Twitter feed, so Foxnext, only chose to retweet IGN is hugely suspect. Hugely suspect to me. And we talk all the time about, you know, companies being shills. I get called a shill. I don't understand how, because I throw shade out left, right and centre as and where I see fit. But we talk about companies being shills. If there ever was a company that was a shill and, you know, would happily accept a paycheck for a bogus review, it's IGN. How can you crap all over Alien Isolation, right? And then not, and then praise a mobile game? You're either so out of touch with what gamers actually want, or you are a shill. It's one or the other, and neither's a good prospect. So you need to pick IGN. Because honestly, I mean, none of them look good on you. None of them make you look good. None of them make you look reputable. It's absolutely insane. And a lot of people say, oh, does anyone still listen to IGN? Yeah, absolutely they do, actually. And it's insane that people still do. Especially when this is the byproduct here. So what did IGN actually have to say about the game? Let's get into it, because again, I think this is, again, hugely suspect when it comes to reviewing this game. And I will say this as well. The game is reviewed by someone different that reviewed Alien Isolation, but it's not really the point. You need to have some consistency in your reviews, even if you are an aggregator website for reviews. You should have consistency. If you're talking about the sequel to Isolation and you poo-pooed Isolation, or you know, the pseudo-sequel, you need to have some consistency with your reviewers and actually get the same person back. Because those people either like or dislike what that reviewer is saying, and that's what needs to be done with respect to consistency. So anyway, let's take a look at what IGN had to say, shall we? So it's not just the review, they actually did have some words with Foxnext. And again, this is why I still think it is somewhat suspect. And I I would be surprised if, something wasn't exchanged, whether it was, you do this, I do that, or so on and so forth. I'd be very surprised. So they had this to say. This is from Lucy O'Brien, and she said, on the news that the next video game set in the Alien universe was to be on mobile devices, there was some understandable vocal disappointment. Yes, some is an understatement, love. We haven't had an Alien game since 2014's divisive Alien Isolation. It wasn't that divisive. It was pretty universally liked. What was divisive was Aliens Colonial Marines. Get it right. Again, just get it right. And that game was good enough to leave fans hungry for more of that idiosyncratic cat and mouse tension. The good news is, then, that Alien Blackout is going all in on delivering that tension, albeit on smaller platforms and on a smaller scale. I mean, talk about taking liberties with it. Tension on a mobile game? Please. The only tension that's going to be happening is from the people trying to clench their asses and squeeze out a turd when they're playing this game on the toilet. Set between Alien Isolation and 1986's Aliens, it's not a direct sequel to Isolation, but it does take place sometime after it. Foxnext and D3 Go's Alien Blackout sees Amanda Ripley on a broken space station, once again isolated. With a stalking xenomorph on board, a small crew of 4 with a broken ship stumble across the station. And essentially it's up to Amanda to keep them and herself alive. From the confines of a security terminal with a limited power supply, across 7 levels, she's also doing it all against an 8-minute timer. Once the clock runs out, so does your power. Blackout. The idea was born from all things Alien Covenant. Senior producer Josh Austin tells me. You know that part with David closing all of the doors to funnel the alien through? I thought this would be an extremely fun mechanic. It's amazing that the senior producer, and again, remember guys, Fox is really in touch with their fans. This game was born from all things Alien Covenant. That movie didn't do very well. What are you talking about? Are you mental? Are you mental? I don't understand how plain and simple this could be. I mean, the money is right there in front of you. Whatever you think of Alien Covenant, whether you liked it or you disliked it, the cold hard fact is it was not universally loved by the Alien fanbase. So you think you're in touch with the fanbase, and yet this game was born of all things Alien Covenant? Oh Lord, we're in trouble here. Anyway, he continues and he states, yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's absolutely comes to mind. It's Bones Shape Blackout, but there's more going on here, thanks to the unpredictability of the alien, and of course, the sense of urgency that comes from shepherding NPCs through a labyrinthian infrastructure that includes a network of vents and hiding spots. You can draw paths with your finger for these NPCs to travel, as well as affect basic behavior using stop, hide, and hurry up commands. There's a temptation to maintain a constant eye on their progress to speed things up, but it's more important to track their nimble and often invisible foe. This can be done, imperfectly, in a couple of ways. While juggling your power supply, you can attempt to locate it on your terminal through floor-based motion trackers, which, if triggered on the right floor, will show her as a red dot on your screen. You can also attempt to see it through cameras, though you won't see it while it's in the vents. You're always trying to keep an eye on him and trying to keep your NPCs alive, says Austin. There's a bit of an inconsistency in your article, Lucy. You just called the alien a her, and Mr. Austin, the senior producer of this whole thing, called it a guy. What's going on? What? Anyway. We set up specific blind spots sometimes that would make it more intense and add to the atmosphere. It's a security terminal, it's not supposed to have everything tracked. You can also hear it. Sound is a big part of Blackout, as it was in Isolation, and can be used in a number of ways. The xenomorph is triggered by sound, so you can shut doors in random parts of the station to throw it off the crew's scent. Conversely, if you make too much noise while directing your crew, the xenomorph will come for you, in which case you'll need to trip the emergency door and power down the entire station. In other words, it's classic alien cat and mouse dynamic, and that means it's hard. Though you carry on if you lose a crew member, if you lose them all, you'll be sent back to the beginning of the level. The xenomorph doesn't do the same thing twice, says Austin, so you might play a level and it might come from here or it might come from somewhere else. It's very unpredictable, but we fought very hard to keep it that way so that we could make it a really good alien experience. And here's Lucy's final thoughts. From what I played, Alien Blackout certainly looks like it could be a really good Alien experience, and what's more, it's a full game without the baggage of microtransactions that we have come to dread from mobile titles. To be clear, there are 0 microtransactions. It's $4.99 for the game, and then you're done. I certainly spent some time panicking while playing it, but not because of the reasons I thought going in. So let's get this right. From the sounds of it, it's 8 minutes per level. There's 7 levels. That's a pretty short game. I've got nothing else to say on this. I've not read anyone else's review because no one else, Alien Blackout Twitter account hasn't shared it. This is baffling to me. I'm still very confused as to why. I mean, this is damage control through and through. What? So it got announced and then suddenly, bang, we're having a press event. What? Where you're only sharing IGNs? No. I got asked by someone who is in, the fandom and potentially, involved in certain things with respect to Alien. They told me, how would you market this game? And I said I wouldn't. I said I would not market this game. I certainly wouldn't have used Alien Isolation assets to market a game which is not an Alien Isolation sequel. That's for sure. I just said I simply would have just put it out there. It would have gained traction by itself if it was a good game, and then I would have done an announcement. That's when I would have then marketed it. That's when I would have said, yep, there you go. Look at all these great reviews. The fact is, they've not given it to anyone within the Alien community to play. You've got avpgalaxy.net, who is arguably one of the best Alien press outlets there is. Yes, they're an aggregator of news, but they are one of the best Alien press outlets that there is, and you haven't given it to them, but you gave it to IGN. The guys who have no credibility at all. So no, this does not bode well. No, none of this looks good. So anyway, this is the gift that just keeps giving. You guys seem to love these videos where I'm talking about this, so I'm glad that I can make another one on a Saturday morning when I'm, half asleep. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to hear your thoughts though. What do you think about all this crap? Let me know down below in the comments section. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button, stay up to date on all the other pop culture and movie news and videos just like this. If you like this video, give it a like and a share. I've been Mr. Age. Take care.